Phoebe Evans-Latosha, Chair of the Commission, and I will be running tonight's meeting. We are your volunteer representatives appointed by our county councilperson or county executive and entrusted to monitor renovations and additions to our Baltimore County historic resources. The LPC reviews and approves nominations to the Baltimore County Preliminary Landmarks List, comments on National Register nominations, reviews all exterior alterations within county historic districts, and is charged with evaluating Baltimore County historic tax credit applications. Would the commissioners please introduce themselves by name and county council district or representation? We can go in the order listed on the PowerPoint slide.
This is Lily Mundroff, District 1.
Chris Weston, District 2.
Wendy McIver, District 3.
Ted McCadden, District 4.
Daniel Dean, District 5.
John Holman, District 6.
So Jamie, you could start the executive appointments. Or is Jamie not here?
She was. Like she might have got knocked off. That's all right. We still have a quorum if she's not here.
Okay, then Raquel?
She's not on.
Not here. Okay, well, I guess.
Executive appointment.
Thank you, Ed.
Vince Johnson, executive appointment.
Tom Liebel, Executive Appointment.
And Chris Parts, Executive Appointment.
And did Jamie?
She's back on now.
Okay, Jamie,
sorry, I just got on. Jamie Ferguson. I can't read on my phone. It's so small. Executive appointment.
Okay, thank you. Now, please stand as we recite the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America
and to
the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, and with liberty and justice for all. The Landmarks Preservation Commission operates under the authority, standards, and requirements of Title VII, Article 32 of the Baltimore County Code. We refer to the United States Secretary of the Interior's standards for rehabilitation as administered by the National Park Service. This is the accepted national standard for historic preservation projects. Our own Baltimore County Historic Preservation Guidelines directly reference and incorporate the Secretary of the Interior's standards for rehabilitation. We have important preservation issues to discuss and debate at each meeting. If you would like to make comments, please limit your comments to the specific application or proposal submission being reviewed. We ask for your assistance and understanding so that the discussion does not digress. As an additional comment, we can all agree that historic preservation is an important aspect of the quality of life and place that makes Baltimore County unique. As commissioners, we serve on the commission due to our expertise, interest, and passion for historic buildings and places, and we review submissions based solely on their merit. While we may disagree in discussion and voting, we continue to be a collegial body that respects each other personally and professionally. Would staff please provide us with our virtual meeting reminders?
Yes, so anyone who wished to testify at tonight's meeting had the opportunity to sign up in advance with LPC staff as outlined on our agenda online, and speaker sign up starts a week before the scheduled meeting. This allows for staff to recognize and permit the individual to speak during the meeting at the appropriate time. Persons who did not wish to speak at the meeting also had the opportunity to convey their thoughts through written testimony that is submitted to staff prior to the meeting, and this testimony is then circulated to the commission members. And also, please note that the commissioners receive all the meeting materials 1 week before the meeting in order to review and prepare for the meeting. The packet includes all applications, plans, photos, and other supporting materials that were submitted by the applicant and other supporting materials that the staff might find helpful in the review. And then the information in this presentation is just an overview and summary of that information. We're not looking at everything that was submitted. It's just purely a visual to keep the meeting moving in an organized manner.
Okay, so then I think we are.
It goes back to me for the National Register.
Oh, don't we need to approve the minutes first?
That goes after. We'll do that.
Okay.
Agenda changes and they'll come after this.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry, confused on that part.
It's
Okay.
all right. Yeah, we don't do these that often, so it goes before all the preliminary actions because it's not one of our normal duties of the meeting. So just bear with me. I'm gonna switch my screens. All right. All right. Good evening to the members of the public attending. Just a little background of why we're having this special presentation tonight. The Baltimore County Landmarks Preservation Commission participates in the National Register nomination process as part of the Certified Local Government Program, or CLG. The National Register of Historic Places is the official list of the nation's historic places worthy of preservation, and the program is within the National Park Service, and this includes districts and individual properties. So National Register listing is largely honorary and does not put any historic restrictions on a property at the local level, unless there is also a coinciding local historic designation. Many of our National Register properties in Baltimore County are also listed on the Baltimore County Landmarks list, which is the case for the property that we are reviewing tonight. It does make the property eligible for state and local historic tax rehab credits, and state grants, and in consideration in federal and state funded or permitted projects. In Maryland, the National Register nomination process begins with a submission of a nomination application to the Maryland Historical Trust as the State Historic Preservation Office. And then when MHT determines that the nomination materials meet National Register documentation standards, MHT then loops in the certified local government where the property is located. So Baltimore County is certified by the Maryland Historical Trust as a certified local government and is invited to assess the nomination's eligibility for the National Register. So CLGs, we play an important role in the process for nominating properties to the National Register through a special working relationship that we have with MHT and the National Park Service. So under this program, both the Landmarks Preservation Commission and the county executive are asked to provide recommendations concerning eligibility for National Register listing. So the LPC and the county executive will make a recommendation to MHT and for or against the nomination for listing on the National Register based on whether the nomination meets the National Register criteria for eligibility after the public hearing tonight. If the LPC and the county executive are in support of the nomination, it moves to the governor's consulting committee. And after that, after we work with MHT, and then everyone that is involved in the review, if they are in support of the nomination, it is forwarded to the National Park Service for final action and inclusion on the National Register list. So this evening, the LPC will be reviewing St. John's Church, Western Run. The property is already designated as a Baltimore County landmark, designated in 1978, and it's also a contributing resource within the Worthington Valley National Register Historic District. For a property to be eligible for listing on the National Register, it must meet one or more of the 4 designation criteria. And these are the same criteria that the county uses for designating county landmarks and historic districts. The nomination for St. John's Church provides a detailed history and background of the property, showing that the property is eligible under criterion A as significant in areas of religion, settlement, and conservation, because it's a rare example of the rural Episcopal Church first established and constructed in the aftermath of the American Revolution, and under criterion C as a significant example of the rural Gothic revival church. St. John's Church is located at 3738 Butler Road amidst rolling lawns encircled by a rough cut stone wall. The Gothic style parish occupies the site where Episcopal worship has been conducted continuously since 1820. The current property is around 4 acres and consists of several buildings and structures that contribute to the history and significance of the property. This includes the church building itself, the rectory, a rectory stable, the churchyard or graveyard, the stone walls, the lich gate, and one non-contributing structure, which is the parish hall, which was built in 2003. So while the nomination draft form is quite detailed and extensive, I'm only here to present a brief look into the history of the property as it relates to the National Register criteria A and C. So Maryland, like the 4 other British colonies to the south, had a strong Anglican tradition prior to the American Revolution. And Maryland was somewhat different, or somewhat late, wiping out the Roman Catholic dominance of the colony in 1689 and establishing the Church of England with about 30 parishes created in 1692. So Anglican churches in the colonies were under the authority of the Church of England. You have St. Paul's in Baltimore, which was the mother church of all those in the area part of the 30 parishes. And one of its offsprings was St. Thomas in Garrison, which was created in 1744. So in the aftermath of the American Revolution and the attempts to separate the newly formed country from England, Anglican churches reorganized themselves, adopting a new constitution and canons and electing their own bishops. The first General Convention, held in Philadelphia in 1785, officially established the Protestant Episcopal Church. So there was a question of what to do with all the established Anglican church buildings. So initially, there was a practice of reuse of the older Anglican churches as new Episcopal churches. And this generally was the pattern up until the second quarter of the 19th century, when new parishes were being established, which is the pattern of development that St. John's follows. So St. John's was established and constructed in the aftermath of the American Revolution in the early years of the Episcopal Diocese in Maryland, when the Episcopal Church was first gaining prominence. So in 1815, the large landowners and early settlers of the area, including the Worthingtons, Johns, the Gills, the Walkers, and the Johnsons, were part of an effort to secure an act of the Maryland Assembly to conduct a lottery to raise funds and build a new Protestant Episcopal church on the site, which was carved from Charles Walker's adjacent Woodburn estate. The original stone building was completed sometime between 1816 and 1820, and most likely resembled a large meeting house, perhaps similar to the example shown on the screen. In 1842, a leading parishioner, John Johns, had donated the materials for this stone wall encircling the church and its burial ground, as well as a stone rectory, which has served all the rectors and their families, as well as being a social hub for the congregation and the community. After some disruption during the Civil War, St. John's reopened in 1865 with the appointment of Reverend Alexander Berger. Unfortunately, a few years later, the original church was destroyed by a fire in 1867. Reverend Berger was part of the campaign for the rebuilding of the church, which resulted in the current church building we see today. So the new church was rebuilt in the Gothic Revival style. Although Gothic revivalism began in England in the 18th century, the use of this style did not become prevailing in America, especially for church architecture, until the second quarter of the 19th century. The use of the Gothic Revival style in areas beyond Baltimore City can be traced to 2 pivotal buildings. One of these is the Church of the Assumption in Westminster, Maryland, and the other is the chapel at the Hannah-More Academy in Reisterstown. Both these buildings would have been influential in the selection of the style for the new St. John's of Western Run. Also influential was the impetus of the Episcopal Church to promote Gothicism as a proper style for the denomination's new churches. The Bishop of Vermont, John Henry Hopkins, authored a book on Gothic architecture with various plans and drawings for churches that were designed specifically for the use of clergy, and this was published in 1836. The book provides not only ideal plans for small and large churches, but details the style and its terminology. Joshua Shorb, a partner of the Westminster firm of Shorb and Leicester, was hired as the architect for the church. George Lease was the contractor and builder, and the masonry work was done by Christian Awalt. Shorb also designed the Church of the Assumption in Westminster, so he's very familiar with the Gothic style. And then from an article in 1912, it lists the cost of construction at $17,000. Specifications for the church included the spire to the top of the cross was to be about 106 feet, and the structure was to be built of limestone, using as much as possible of the stone left over from the former church, with various details to be of granite, colored slate for the roof, stained glass windows to include a large representation of St. John the Evangelist and an eagle over the altar, and all the woodwork was to be walnut. The new church was completed and dedicated in 1870 and included much Gothic features, including the pointed arch, which allowed for taller structures and larger windows. And these features contribute to the vertical emphasis with tall spires and elaborate ornamentation both on the inside and out. And stained glass windows often featured lancet and rose designs, or another defining element. The present building's exterior is nearly, with certain expectations, intact as built, with the exception of some interior alterations that were done in the 1920s and are designed by Baltimore architect James Edmonds Jr. from the firm of Joseph Evans Sperry, with the influence of late Gothic Revival Anglo-Catholic precepts that were in vogue for prominent urban churches at the time. And the last exterior change to the site was adding the Lich Gate around 1930. The Lich Gate, which follows a tradition of structures in English burial grounds from the medieval period onward, usually were intended as a holding place for a coffin before burial. But in England, they became an entrance to the church and churchyard. Regardless of those changes, they have all gained significance over the property's 205-year history, making it eligible for the National Register under Criterion A and Criterion C. Again, just a refresher, those Criterion A is significant areas of religion, settlement, and conservation, because it's a rare example of a rural Episcopal church that was first established and constructed after the aftermath of the American Revolution in the early years of the Episcopal Diocese in Maryland. And then under Criterion C as a significant example of a rural Gothic Revival style church. So now I ask the Commission to just discuss the nomination, determine if it meets both Criterion A and Criterion C. I also like to note that we did not receive any written public testimony or sign up for speakers for the property, and that the owners of the church are aware and in support of the nomination. And staff recommends that the LPC that you recommend it for listing on the National Register.
Thank you, Caitlin. So now I would open the discussion for the commissioners before we would call for a motion. So any commissioners have any comments, questions about the nomination?
I think it is clearly eligible and clearly qualifies, and certainly something we should do. So I make the motion that we file staff recommendation and approve it.
I'll second
I'll second the motion.
Okay, I heard Wendy is a second, so John has made the motion to recommend that the St. John's Church be placed on the National Registry following staff recommendations. Are there any other comments or questions?
I don't know if any of you have been there, but it's a lovely, country church. Very, very serene in the countryside. So
I'd just like to
Good
compliment
addition.
staff for the thoroughness and detail of this presentation.
Yes.
It's awesome.
Thank you. It was hard. There's a lot of, if you guys browse the 40 plus page nomination.
148.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Thank you.
I'd like to second that. I think it's nice to have something uplifting and nice, which we always get, but this was particularly interesting and very nice building. Let me just read you one thing about the Lich Gate. In the Middle Ages, before mortuaries were common, the deceased were brought on a bier to the Lich Gate, where the body would rest, sometimes for a day or two, protected by the elements and guarded against body snatchers until the funeral services began. So that's the purpose of the Lich Gate, to really protect the body while it's resting in place before it's buried.
I
Thanks,
just
Ed.
wanted to add.
Yeah.
Thanks,
Ed, for
Ed.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just wanted to add in too. I've been there many times on the exterior, and the beauty of that church matches alongside with the burial ground that's next to it as well. There's a lot of prominent figures in there. A lot of the Worthington family was reinterred in there, so Samuel Worthington's in there, and the extent of their family and the importance of this extends, to different areas of Baltimore County and not just here, but it's a pivotal spot for those seeking out information of historic families as well with the relationship to the church.
Okay, thank you, Daniel. Any other commissioners' comments, or if not, then I would call for a roll call vote.
Great, thank you, Phoebe. Can we have Lily, please?
Yes.
Wendy,
Yes.
Ed,
Yes.
John,
Yes.
Chris Weston,
Yes.
Tom,
Yes.
Dan.
Yes.
Great, thanks, Dan. Vince,
Yes.
Ted,
Yes.
Chris Parts,
Yes.
Jamie,
Yes.
Raquel,
Yes.
and Phoebe, please.
Yes.
Great, thank you.
Okay, so now we will move on to the agenda, and it looks like staff, if you could confirm that there are no changes to the preliminary agenda as
Correct,
published.
no changes. Thank you.
Okay, great. Then next we will move on to the minutes of the June 12th, 2025 meeting that were circulated to the commission ahead of time. So are there any changes or corrections to the minutes? If not, then I would entertain a motion to approve.
Move that we approve.
Thank you, Chris. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you. And so then I think in this one, we can just do a voice vote. So
Yes.
all in favor, say
Aye.
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 Any opposed? Great, the minutes have passed. Okay, so next we'll be moving on to the consent agenda items.
Great, thanks, Phoebe. So we have one item. It's the Connolly property at 704 Woodland Drive in Relay, County Council District Number 1. This is a non-contributing resource within the Relay County Historic District, and the applicants are seeking to replace their rear and side yard wood fencing.
Okay, great. Do the commissioners, since there's just one item, commissioners have any questions or discussion on that? If not, then I would entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda items as presented.
Motion to approve the consent agenda.
Okay, is there a second?
Second.
All right, I guess we will go with a roll call vote.
Great. Could we have Lily, please?
Yes.
Wendy,
Yes.
Ed,
Yes.
great. John,
Yes.
Chris Weston,
Yes.
Tom,
Yes.
Dan,
Yes.
Vince,
Yes.
great. Ted,
Yes.
Chris Parts,
Yes.
Jamie,
Yes.
Raquel,
Yes.
and Phoebe, please.
Yes.
Great, thank you.
Okay, so then we will move on to the agenda items. So first up is agenda item five, the Prime Plus property
Yep, so
for the Perry Hall School.
yes. So the Perry Hall School was just moved from the preliminary landmarks list to the final, so is now final landmarks list for 18, the Perry Hall School and setting on 9317 Bel Air Road in Nottingham, County Council District number 5. And the applicants are requesting to make alterations to the existing loading dock and to create a new side entry and stairs. So just to refresh the commission's memory, the Perry Hall School was constructed in 1928 in a simplistic colonial revival style. The school was designed by a local architectural firm, Smith and May, who were responsible for the design of numerous Baltimore County schools in the second quarter of the 20th century. The Perry Hall School and setting was added to the Baltimore County preliminary landmarks list on November 14th, 2024, and again, there was just recently confirmed to move on to the final landmarks listing. So the applicants wish to make the following alterations to the structure that are necessary for the building's new use. So work item 1, the loading dock. The existing loading dock on the east elevation was most likely added to the building in the 80s or 90s and currently has a metal roll-up door that opens toward the rear of the structure. The door opens to a raised concrete loading dock, and the applicant is requesting to remove the existing roll-up door and to replace with a single-leaf 36 by 80-inch black fire-rated door. The space around the door will be enclosed and sheathed on the outside with black vinyl siding. The loading dock will be converted to a landing, adding a simple black metal railing and concrete steps located on the driveway side. The railing style and materials will match the existing on the structure. Work item 2 includes new entry and stairs. On the right side of the east elevation, there is a band of windows with 6 sets of paired windows topped with a black panel. The applicant is proposing to remove the left side window and convert the opening into a new door with a concrete landing that will have a simplistic black metal railing. Staff generally does not have an issue with the proposed changes to the loading dock door conversion as it faces toward the rear of the structure and is not as visible. However, staff recommends that a black metal panel be used instead of the vinyl siding to match the panel material above the windows. Additionally, staff does have some concerns over the new side entry as it is a more visible elevation. A preferred location would be around the corner where there is an existing single window with steps and railing, as identified on the plan submitted. There is a note in the application photo saying, please note in the drawing submitted, the door is in a different location. The inspector gave us a verbal that it was okay as long as you approve it. Staff recommends that the LPC discuss the material used in work item 1 and the door location in work item 2, and recommends the following modifications to the proposal. That black metal panel be used instead of the vinyl, and that a new opening location match the location on the submitted plans. Citing Baltimore County Historic Design Guidelines, Chapter 2, Windows and Doors, and Chapter 5, Porches and Steps, County Code Section 32-7-405.
Okay, thank you so much. Is there any testimony or speakers who have registered for this application?
We did not have any registered speakers or submitted testimony. Looking at the attendees list, and I don't believe the project representative is with us tonight. If I'm wrong, would you please raise your hand in the chat? Yeah, the project manager is Rick Nelson.
Okay, and he's not on.
No, he doesn't appear
Okay.
to be.
Okay. So then I would turn it over to discussion for the commissioners if they have any questions, concerns to discuss, particularly related to the door placement and the staff's recommendation related to the use of metal rather than vinyl siding.
I have a question.
Yes, Vince.
Okay, and it's regarding that. It's both the material and the placement that the placement that the staff recommends, as opposed to what was being proposed. There is another location, and I didn't quite get where that was. Where the proposed, what staff recommending.
So on the site plans on the screen, it shows that that side entrance is coming out of a window, an existing window.
Right.
This existing window, but they're proposing is to put it on the side entrance. So what they're proposing is not what's on the plans.
Oh, okay, so what I'm looking at on the right hand side, that's what they're wanting to do.
That's what they are proposing to do. It's to remove this window out of this band of windows on the side to put the door.
Staff's recommendation is where? That's the part out.
So staff recommendations is to keep it coming off of the rear, out of using this window. That is
got you.
One,
got you.
Which is identified and shown on the site plans. But the applicant did make a note that they had talked to the inspector and said that moving it on the plans was fine as long as it was approved by us.
Okay.
It's just not shown on the
plans. And the recommended material was what I didn't quite
a metal panel instead of the vinyl.
Instead of vinyl.
And that would be used above the windows. On the other windows is a black metal or black.
Yeah, that staff recommendation will be consistent with what's already there.
Yeah,
basically. Okay.
And I would agree with staff that it would be better to put the door around the corner as long as it doesn't create any exiting issues.
It looks like it may create exiting issues, but I would agree with the staff recommendations if they could work that out.
Yeah, the proposed site plan on the screen is actually the life safety site plan. That's what all those arrows are going throughout the exits, so you can see where all the exits are.
Right. And it looks like that they're showing that door swinging in on the back, where I think staff would prefer that to be, which I would expect that they would need that to swing out in the direction of exit, but not certain.
I think it swings in because there's an existing door.
I think they'd have to, I think our suggestion should be to move it to the side door next, adjacent to the other door, as long as it doesn't create as long as they can work out the exiting issues.
Yeah, yeah.
I would agree.
Yeah.
So, Caitlin, one of the things I noted on the drawings that were available prior to the meeting, it says that the stairs are to be constructed out of wood.
Yeah, so I had talked with the applicant and they were asked about materials. So what they listed in the application, because they asked like what would be accepted, and I said, well, using something that's already exists on the structure, like the concrete and the simple back, or I mean wood would be another option. Then they decided to go with the concrete and metal railings instead of in lieu of the wood, and this was like after they had already had submitted these plans. So what is in that, what they wrote in the application is the actual materials.
I would agree with the staff recommendations. I know this is a location that's going to be an adult care center, at least according to Facebook posts and, you know, the congratulations for the final landmarks that were sent out. So but I'm on the side of the staff recommendations, unless they have feedback, which they aren't here to propose for where that may be an issue for that other entry.
So would a commissioner like to turn that into a motion? It sounds like there's general agreement to follow staff recommendations.
This is Lily. I had a question though. I'm sorry.
Yeah, go ahead, Lily. Sorry, I didn't see your hand.
No, it's okay. maybe it's just a visual representation that's kind of confusing, but if you go back to slide 22 on the screen, so it looks like they're raising up the rest of that sidewall on this loading dock area and eliminating it. Is that the case, or you think that's just a rendering thing?
I think it might just be the rendering.
Okay, just making sure. I would just, I guess if they're doing any other changes, just to kind of see what they're doing. That's all.
I move we accept staff recommendations and approve it with those changes.
So the staff recommendations, thank you, John, would be that the work item 1, that the black metal panel be used instead of vinyl, and for work item 2, that the new opening location match the location on the submitted plan. So that would be around the corner rather than in the line of windows.
I would second that.
Thank you, Chris.
Can I
was
add
about
to
ask for a
that,
second.
can I just add to that the landings, all exterior work to be constructed of concrete and metal railings?
So John, would you agree to that amendment?
I understood Caitlin to say that they had altered the plan, that was
I just
the
wanted to
intent.
make
but-
sure
Yeah, it
that was
doesn't hurt.
in
It
the
doesn't hurt to.
final-
Yeah.
But
Right.
I agree. I think we ought to put it in there if there's any doubt.
Okay, great. And Chris, I assume you're seconding
Yes. Yes.
that? Okay. Any other further comments before we have a vote? Okay, if not, then let's go ahead and proceed to our roll call vote.
We have Lily, please.
Yes.
Wendy,
Yes.
Ed,
Yes.
John,
Yes.
Chris Weston,
Yes.
Tom,
Yes.
Dan,
Yes.
Vince,
Yes.
Ted,
Yes.
Chris Parts,
Yes.
Jamie,
Yes.
Raquel,
Yes.
and Phoebe, please.
Yes.
Great, thank you.
Okay, so then moving on to agenda item number 6, the Papillo property at 322 Central Avenue in Glendon.
Yep, this is Thing County Council District 4, and it is a contributing resource within the Glendon County Historic District. And the applicants have proposed to alter an existing door opening and convert it to a window. So the property at 322 Central Ave is a 2.5-story Victorian frame dwelling that was constructed in 1902. The property is situated on a corner lot bisected by Albright Avenue to the south. The neighboring property to the north, 320 Central Ave, is a non-contributing resource, and the property to the south, 324 Central Ave, is a contributing resource constructed in 1865. The applicant requests to remove an existing 31-inch by 79-inch second-story door on the south side elevation and to replace with a 27.5 by 47.5 1/1 Anderson Series 200 double-hung window. To accommodate the new window, the existing opening will be reframed with 2x4 pressure-treated timber, and the remaining 32-inch opening will be enclosed with plywood and sided with center-grade 18-inch Western red perfection shingles to match existing shakes on the second story. Additionally, a pair of black 14.5 by 60-inch louvered vinyl exterior shutters will be installed to match the existing shutters. The home has a 1-story porch that wraps around the east elevation to the south elevation. Images provided by the applicant indicate that the porch was previously enclosed at the southeast corner. The enclosed portion is situated atop brick footers and a concrete block foundation and has a hipped roof that joins the front porch along the facade. The door on the second level may have been accessed by a sleeping porch, which no longer exists. The door may have originally been a window that was converted to a door when the former second-story porch was added to the house, and no older photographs of the house were submitted with the application. Our guidelines do allow for the altering of existing openings on the rear or secondary elevations as long as the proposal respects the historic structure. The applicant wishes to match the new window with the others on the elevation. No information regarding the dimensions of the other second-story window was included in the application to compare with. So staff asked the LPC to discuss the proposal, particularly the size of the replacement window in comparison to the other window on the same elevation and the plans for matching shingles on the exterior. So again, staff asked the commission to discuss and approve or modify accordingly, citing Baltimore County Historic Design Guidelines, Chapter 2, Windows and Doors, County Code Section 32-7-405. And we do have, I believe we have the property owner with us. If you have,
Are there any
questions.
other speakers or testimony?
No, we did
No.
not
Okay.
receive any.
Just
So,
confirming that.
looking at the attendees list, we do not have the property owner with us.
Okay. Okay, well, in that case, then I would open the floor to the commissioners to discuss the conversion of the door to a window.
I don't have an issue with making that change. It does look like it's a little bit narrower, but it could be the perspective with the porch in front.
I think it should be the same size as the building to the left. Same
The window to the left.
Yeah,
Agreed.
I had a, it's not really a question, but I guess it's an observation. That door, was that, and maybe I missed it, was that original?
No, it's most likely. I think the applicant said something that there used to be apartments in this building, and there were like, it was like a fire escape or something, but or it could have been a sleeping porch because that's was common.
Okay. Well, I definitely agree. The window should be in line with what's already there, because right now it looks, that doesn't look good.
I move we accept the proposal as presented.
And if, John, if you're amenable to amending that, just to confirm that the window would look to align with the dimensions of the adjacent window on it.
Okay, so we have a motion to approve, to I guess issuing a certificate of appropriateness, John, with the condition that the new window match the existing, the other, existing second floor window.
Let's second that.
Thank you, Chris. Any further discussion before we call for a roll call vote? Okay, hearing none, then we can proceed to the vote.
Great. Have Lily, please.
Yes.
Wendy,
Yes.
Ed,
Yes.
John,
Yes.
Chris Weston, are you unmuted, Chris? We'll go to Tom,
Yes.
Dan,
Yes.
Vince,
Yes.
Ted,
Yes.
Chris Parts,
Yes.
Jamie,
Yes.
Raquel,
Yes.
and Phoebe, please.
Yes.
Okay. And Chris Weston, if you are back on, great, thank you. Vote. Perfect.
Okay, so that has passed. So we can now proceed to agenda item number 7, the Todd property at 11825 Reynolds Road in Kingsville.
Sure. So this is a contributing resource within the Franklinville County Historic District, and the applicants have proposed a rear yard fence installation. The property is a 2.5-story Queen Anne wood frame dwelling constructed in 1902. It is a contributing resource within the Franklinville County Historic District and is the former parsonage for the church across the street. The property is situated on a 0.75 acre corner lot that backs to Gunpowder State Park to the east and is the southmost property within the Franklinville County Historic District. The majority of properties within the district are located north of the subject property across Franklinville Road. 11825 Reynolds and 11845 Franklinville Road are the only two properties separated from the other properties in the district. The other properties on Reynolds Road consist of mid-20th century ranch-style houses, and the only house on that road that has fencing is the adjacent neighboring property at 1182-3, which appears to be a vinyl picket fence. The applicants wish to enclose a portion of the rear and side yard with a 48-inch white Viking scallop picket vinyl fence with Gothic posts. The front visible portion of the fence will be set back from Reynolds Road 60 feet. The north and east property lines are bound by mature tree lines along Franklinville and Vinegar Hill Roads, which largely obscures visibility from the public right-of-way. The LPC may consider vinyl on a case-by-case basis, taking into consideration visibility, location of the fence, style of the fence, and size of the property. Since the property is physically separated from the rest of the district, it does not follow the same patterns as the majority of the district. Staff asked the commission to consider that when making a decision. Additionally, the picket style is a better fit aesthetically than some of the vinyl panel styles. The picket allows for space versus a solid view. While wood is always an appropriate choice, staff feels that the vinyl picket style is adequate in this case because of its limited visibility, size of the property, and that the property is separated from the rest of the district. Staff would recommend issuing a notice to proceed instead of a certificate of appropriateness. Citing Baltimore County Historic Design Guidelines, Chapter 7, Fences and Landscapes, County Code Section 32-7-405.
Okay, thank you. Is there any testimony or speakers?
We did not receive any testimony or have any registered speakers. I do have the property owner in our attendance if you have any questions. So, Mr. Todd, I've unmuted you if there's anything you'd like to add to our staff summary for the commission.
I appreciate that. The only thing I would like to add, I think that was a very good summary. One of the additional reasons that we considered a vinyl fence in this instance is we have a 6-year-old autistic son who has a history of eloping. And we felt that material being less abrasive and having a higher height. I know traditionally you guys look for, I believe, 42 inches. We wanted to go with 48 to make it more difficult for him to exit the yard and create a safer environment for him. So we definitely appreciate the historic value of our home and plan on continuing to maintain that historic value. We just are looking for an exception in this instance just to create a safer space. And we're looking to minimize the amount of yard that is contained by this fence to only the backyard as previously stated, as far away from the roads as possible and with the least visibility.
Okay, thank you. Do any of the commissioners have any clarifying questions for Mr. Todd?
Hearing none, I have I could make a motion.
Okay.
I move that we accepted as designed for all of the reasons stated by staff as a reason that we should accept vinyl rather than the normal wood fence that we would normally require.
Okay.
I'd second that.
Okay, thank you, Ed and Chris. So we have a motion and a second. And so, Ed, I assume you would be the motion was to issue a notice to proceed as proposed, rather than a certificate of appropriateness.
Yep.
Thank you for clarifying that. Do any of the commissioners have any further discussion, particularly the vinyl versus wood issue? Okay, hearing none, then I would call for a roll call vote.
Great. Thank you, Phoebe. Can we have Lily, please?
Yes.
Wendy?
Yes.
Ed?
Yes.
John?
Yes.
Chris Weston?
Yes.
Tom?
Yes.
Dan?
Yes.
Vince?
Yes.
Ted?
Yes.
Chris Parts?
Yes.
Jamie?
Yes.
Raquel?
Yes.
And Phoebe, please.
Yes.
Great, thank you. And Mr. Todd, I'll be in touch with an email tomorrow just confirming your approval.
Awesome. Thank you very much, and thank you to this committee. Appreciate it.
Great, thank you, sir. Alrighty.
Okay, so moving on in our agenda, we are on agenda item number 8. This is the Glendon Bank Romay property, the dental office at 4817 Butler Road in Glendon.
Yep, so this is a non-contributing resource within the within the Glendon County Historic District, and the applicants have returned with a proposal for their rear addition. And just as a reminder, the LPC reviewed this proposal at the June 12th meeting. And after much discussion, the LPC denied the proposal, asking that the addition offset from the historic structure at least 18 inches, and to rework and to rework the approach of the ADA lift. The applicant has returned to the commission with revisions to its original plans. The addition still measures 28 feet by 34 feet. The west elevation is set back 18 inches from the main structure, was previously around 12, and the east side elevation is set back 4 feet, which was previously around 5 feet and 2 inches. In lieu of the ADA lift previously proposed on the east side, a simple wood ADA ramp with black steel handrails will be constructed. The ramp will extend toward the rear of the addition and be accessible in the rear parking area. The design of the addition has remained the same and will have a parapeted flat roof to be covered in EDPM rubber roofing, and the addition will have hardy siding with a smooth texture. The windows will be wood clad, double hung 1/1 trim with true exterior pro Westlake. And overall, staff feels that the updated plans have sufficiently addressed the commission's concerns at the previous meeting. The design is compatible with the existing structure in design and scale, and staff encourages the commission to discuss the design and determine if it meets our guidelines. Citing Baltimore County Historic Design Guidelines, Chapter 5, Porches and Steps, and Chapter 6, New Construction, Additions, and Non-Contributing Structures, County Code Section 32-7-405. We did receive one written testimony that was circulated to the commission. But other than that, we do not have any registered speakers tonight. But we do have the property owner and project representatives with us.
Okay, if you could, I guess, make them available.
Sure. So Dr. Romay, I've just unmuted you, Mr. Swift, and I'm looking for, is it Mr. David Stufen? I don't see him in attendance. But Dr. Romay, you're unmuted if you have anything to add.
Okay, great. You covered it. Yes, we downsized by taking out the lift and putting in the ramp, that the ramp is a little bit skinnier than the lift. So then we can shift everything over, and then we can get the 18 inches that the committee was requesting on that left side, if you're standing in the back facing it on the left side. So we can achieve that by shifting everything over.
Thank you. Yeah, no, we appreciate your responsiveness to our feedback. Any other questions for the applicant or the applicant's representative from the commissioners?
This isn't the ADA review. We're not responsible for ADA review, but I will mention that your ramp doesn't comply with ADA. As you need 5 turning radii every time you're doing that turn. So got a 90 and a 180 turn. So those landings need to be bigger there. And you also need a bigger.
We haven't gone through the ADA planning yet.
Okay.
We'll try again.
You're showing a ramp, so I'm just pointing out.
We understand. We just had only a couple days, so I think Dave, he drew it as best as he could, but we will be going through like the ADA planning and make sure we have all the dimensions. So I understand.
Yeah. So Chris, if there are alterations to the, to the ramp, that are, still within the basic footprint, would you be okay with that in terms of, or would that be something you think would need to come before us again?
No, I don't think it needs to come before us again. I'm just pointing it out.
Okay, great. Thank you. Any other questions or concerns from the commissioners?
I have a question. This is Lily Mundruff. I was looking at the site plan, and it looks like I know that we're not in the zoning review, but based on this plan, this you have a distance. Can you zoom into that that plan a little bit, Jessica? Or it's hard to see, but the distance at the back of the building, because it seems to slope, it's at 7.4. That's that number between the corner of the back of the existing building and the I guess the property line. So if the addition, even with that setback that is being proposed, you're really encroaching, it's getting closer. So I think you may run into an issue where you'll need a variance if you're going beyond the 10-foot setback, which is what they seem to require for this building. So just to kind of keep that in mind. So I have an issue with kind of the setbacks of this addition in relationship to the existing building, because on one side you have a certain setback, on the other one you have the ramp. Are you considering the ramp to not follow that same setback? And if with the whole ADA, chances are the ramp will be flush with the existing wall of the building. And currently the anything that's in the back is actually quite stepped back. So if you look at the existing photos from the back. So just a note, I would like to see that anything new that is being added to the back respects the existing building by being set back a certain distance. And it seems minimal on the ramp side. And on the other side, I think you're going to go beyond your setbacks, which you will require a variance. And I would assume that LPC would want to see the setbacks being maintained. So 10 feet from the property line to the new wall that you're building in the back.
Thank you, Lily. Any other commissioners have comments or discussion, particularly related to the setbacks and the ramps?
I think they've tried to meet most of the objections of the committee, of the commission at our last meeting. I'm okay with the setback, partly because of we're in a kind of a commercial little section there on the side where that might be an issue. And I recommend we let the project proceed as shown.
I would second that.
Okay, thank you, John and Chris. So I'm assuming that would be to issue a certificate of appropriateness, John?
I have a comment.
Yes, Ed.
One thing we can do is we can say we're okay with a setback as far as historic setback, but we're not okay to be providing a variance. I don't want them thinking.
Oh yeah, no, that's not within our purview.
Zoning.
I'm assuming staff, when they contact them after the meeting, will make
So
that.
Planning will see application surveillances and special exceptions. So when they do get to that process, we'll see that and we'll make a comment.
I'm not giving us all a
promotion,
promotion,
Ed.
Okay. I just didn't want them to think that because we did it, oh, it's okay now. You got a variance. They don't have a variance.
Yeah,
Hi, this is Matt Swift, the builder. We were not able, we know there's going to be a variance that we have to go through with the county. We were not able to go any further until we got approval from you guys. So
Okay.
we know we still have a long ways to go with everything, but the first step was you guys to approve. So we are aware.
Okay.
Thank you for that clarification. Any other further questions, comments from the commissioners before we vote?
Can we take a look at the side elevation with the windows? That's on the, not the driveway side. Yeah. I just wanted to ask a question about the size of the new windows being proposed. Is there, just wanted to understand the reasoning behind them being a little smaller. I mean, typically we try to relate the existing with the new ones. Just wanted to know if there were constraints as far as the windows.
Yeah, I would refer to the designer on this one, who is Dave. I think he's having trouble getting into the meeting. He tried to match things as best as he could, but you can see that the windows on the existing building are fairly large.
With this height of the ceiling that they have, I don't believe that they're going to be able to get. I think it's okay that the back part is lower windows. What's clearly an addition is clearly an addition. I think it's okay. Doesn't bother me anyway.
Okay, any other comments? If not, we have a motion on the floor to issue a certificate of appropriateness, which is seconded. So I assume now we can proceed with our roll call vote.
Sure. Could we have Lily, please?
No.
Okay. Wendy?
Yes.
Ed?
Yes.
John?
Yes.
Chris Weston?
Yes.
Tom?
Yes.
Dan?
Yes.
Vince?
Yes.
Ted?
Yes.
Parts?
Yes.
Jamie?
Yes.
Raquel?
Yes.
And Phoebe, please.
Yes.
Great, thank you. The motion carries.
Okay, so the next agenda item is number 9, the Warren property in Lutherville.
Yep, this is 112 Melockton Avenue in Lutherville, County Council District 3. This is a contributing resource within the Lutherville County Historic District, and the applicants have proposed to construct a detached garage and to expand the existing driveway. So the property is a 2-story gable roof frame house constructed in 1877 in the Downing-Bow cottage style. A 1-story stone porch spans the length of the facade. The home was stuccoed sometimes during the first quarter of the 20th century, and an existing stucco 2-story gable carriage house is situated on the rear of the property. So work item 1 is for the garage construction. The former carriage house or garage was constructed around 1940 and covered in the same stucco and stone exterior. It measures 22 by 90 by 29 feet, and it was converted into a living space by previous owners in 2014. A technical committee visited the site in 2014 and determined that the garage was non-contributing as it was built outside the period of significance for the district. The property currently has no other structure that functions as a garage or shed. The application notes that there is an existing deteriorated concrete slab with a wood perimeter or retaining wall located to the immediate right of the carriage house. Staff found references to a building identified on old site plans for when the addition was added, and the lot line was adjusted for the construction of the neighboring house at 110 Melockton. No clear images were found, but the Google Street Views from 2013 show that it may have been a shed or a playhouse at one time. The applicant is requesting to construct a single-story 18 by 50-foot garage on the northeast corner of the property to the immediate east or right of the existing carriage house. The distance between the two will be 6 feet. The garage will have a gable asphalt shingle roof and will be clad in hardy plank siding and trimmed to match the rear 20th century addition on the primary structure. The roof pitch will be 3 to 12 with a sidewall height of 11 feet to allow for an overall height to remain under 15 feet. The garage will have a 10 by 10 carriage style steel insulated door on the facade, which is the south elevation facing M'Loughlin Avenue, and a 6-panel steel or fiberglass pre-hung entry door on the west elevation. The scope of work includes the removal of the existing concrete slab and retaining wall, and the retaining wall will be replaced with a new 6 by 6 timber wall. Grading of the site will be done as needed to provide for new gravel base and concrete slab. For work item 2, the driveway expansion. In order to accommodate the new garage, the applicants wish to expand the rear section of the existing asphalt driveway. The application states that the driveway is generally in good condition and that some minor repair or repatching work will be done. While detached garages or carriage houses and small sheds are common within the bounds of the historic district, having multiple large accessory structures is not common. The location of the proposed garage has high visibility from M'Loughlin Avenue, and with a lack of elevation drawings that show how it relates to the existing carriage house, it makes it difficult to determine its appropriateness. So staff feels that the proposed location in close proximity to the existing structure, the new garage will look out of place despite having matching materials to the addition on the house. Additionally, staff feels that the current proposal is not the best option and asks the commission to discuss some options to help the property owner make it more appropriate for the property and the district, such as an alternative location that is less visible, a smaller footprint, or perhaps a well-designed side addition to the existing carriage house. So staff recommends that the LPC not approve the request as proposed, but to review and discuss the proposal to determine alternative options to make the proposal more appropriate, citing Baltimore County Historic Design Guidelines, Chapter 6, new construction, additions, and non-contributing structures, and Chapter 7, fences and landscapes, County Code Section 32-7-405.
Thank you.
Yes, so
And I know we had written testimony.
Yes, we did receive written testimony that was circulated to the commission by the Lutherville Historic Advisory Committee, and we have 2 registered speakers for tonight. So Caitlin, when you have a chance, could we get the timer up? And Ms. McLaughlin, I will unmute you if you're ready to address the commission. Okay, Ms. McLaughlin, I have you unmuted.
My name is Marsha McLaughlin, and my husband and I, John Alexander, live immediately across the street at 115 M'Loughlin. We're longtime owners, and we're glad to see our new neighbors moving in. They're still settling in, and I feel a little awkward tonight challenging their proposal. They have many cars and a truck and a boat, so accommodating all of those on site is a challenge, and I understand why they're trying to find a solution. However, the proposed garage, which is 50 feet long, has a relatively flat roof and almost no fenestration, just one little door, is looking more like a commercial or a industrial type warehousing building than it does like something that fits into a residential property. It's a lovely house. The carriage house, when it was created, was compatible with the design of the existing building. So we're hoping that if they need some additional storage for their cars or the boat or the truck, that there could be something that would be less commercial, industrial in scale, and something more residential in terms of compatibility with the materials and the style, the roof pitch of the existing building, house, and carriage house. Finally, our neighborhood all drains to Roll and Run, which has experienced flooding, really adjacent to the light rail, which is a problem not only for the neighbors, but the light rail. It resulted in the county having to purchase several properties to remove them from the floodplain. So if they are going to need additional pavement to get to a new garage of some better design, it would be better if they would then remove an equivalent amount of asphalt that no longer is needed to serve the carriage house, since the carriage house really serves as kind of a guest house and playhouse for the teenage kids and doesn't need to have as much asphalt. So our hope is that you will think long and hard about the design and how to make it more compatible with the building. It's a very attractive property and has been a nice contributor to the character of the Lutherville Historic District. And we hope that this new addition can be modified in a way that will enhance the property rather than detract from that property and from the neighborhood. Thank you very much. We appreciate your consideration.
Great, thank you, Ms. McLaughlin. And if your husband is online with you, then Mr. Alexandra, you can address the commission whenever you're ready.
Essentially, I'm saying I think it's important also to not make the half of the site surrounding the house impervious surface. They have a number of cars and they park them in the existing driveway, and whereas the Port Cochere is full of other furniture and boxes awaiting
settlement
into the house. We just think that it doesn't, proposed doesn't look good, and it's squeezed into a rear portion of the property adjacent to a neighboring and property to the north of the proposed building, and it provides a kind of a lifeless industrial look to the neighbors to the east for their backyard. So quickly it doesn't work. Thank you.
Thank you both for your testimony. Then to the commission, we do have the property owner, Mr. Daniel Warren, on with us. So Mr. Warren, if you have anything to add and if you could be available for staff questions, that would be great.
Sure, happy to answer any questions.
So did you have any comments that you wanted to make regarding the size of and design of the garage?
No, I mean, this is our first proposal. We're interested to hear your thoughts. We've clearly heard some of them already. The size was designed based on functionality desired, and it was put in the back corner to be compliant with Baltimore County code for detached garages on corner lots, being in the half of the yard that's not on the street side and being behind the rear foundation of the house.
Okay, do any of the commissioners have questions for the property owner? Okay, here.
Well, I was going to say, I don't have any sort of comments on my end because I'm not the expert in this. I don't know if it's anything, is there anything that we can suggest to the homeowner since he's going off of the generalized end of things? Is there any suggestions that we have as far as like alternative spot for them for anything or anything like the staff mentions in the write-up on this, just to kind of guide them in the appropriate way for the next time?
I'd be happy to share. I'm just taking a look at Google Earth. I don't see sites in the community that have multiple multiple buildings in the rear of the property. So I think the staff recommendation of a well-designed site addition to the carriage house is certainly a reasonable expectation. And then I think also just keeping in mind the accessory, structure relative to property size is something that I think we'd want to consider, kind of moving forward. I understand trying to protect a lot of vehicles, but I think trying just in terms of the historic district, looking for appropriate smaller structure than the main property structures. I think what we would be looking for.
Yeah, I agree with that. And also, I'm disturbed about the paving. I mean, it's starting to look like a parking lot. I understand that's what they're looking for, is some more parking space, but goodness gracious, that's a lot of pavement relative to the house. And the garage just seems out, the size is way out of proportion for what might be appropriate for the neighborhood.
I suggest that they take this away, get someone that is good at design to design something that works with the carriage house and come back to us with a better solution. Because it's not working at this point, in my view.
And there's some solid precedent there, as you just mentioned, Ed, that there's a good example of an outbuilding right there.
Yeah. Which works well. I mean, it's a beautiful little structure.
Yeah.
So I just say my motion is that we reject the proposal as presented, and if they would like to come back with some alternatives which are more sensitive to the existing house and the existing carriage house, we will be willing to review them.
As the homeowner, can I ask a question?
Yes.
Is it the commission's opinion that an altered garage plan would need to be attached to the carriage house, or can it be attached to the addition that was, I forget exactly when, the modern addition of the carriage house? In so doing, it would block the view of the carriage house from the street.
I don't know that we can design it for you here.
No,
let me finish. I think it's a complicated design issue where you want to put it. I'm not sure what you're going to want is going to actually fit in there. So I say take it away, have somebody that's good at design study this and look at some alternatives for you and see what might work. But I don't know that I have a good solution that's going to get you, a 50-foot long garage, 15 feet wide. And I just don't see that here. But I think if you want to investigate it, but get something that works with the building and is part of the carriage house, I believe, but there could be other ways to do it.
Sorry, I was just clarifying whether as part of that design process, whether both sites, i.e. Expansion to the east of the existing rear modern addition to the house in front of the carriage house, is an option, is something, right there. Or whether the commission was of the opinion that any expansion would only come off the carriage house.
The tough part is the street view and what you see from the street, and if you're blocking a structure that was historically there. I mean, that's just my opinion.
If you just kind of think about our guidelines where additions and renovations are to be, usually they're set back from the main house. In this case, you're talking about an accessory structure being attached to the back and coming in front of the other accessory structure. So I agree with what Ed is saying. You really have to have someone that's taking a look at the whole thing and just kind of determining, following the guidelines about accessory structures and view sheds and attaching versus independent structures. So
I would come back in any drawings you do that you bring us, if they don't show it in relationship to the carriage house and to the main house and how they relate to one another, I think we'll send you back because we need to see how everything's going to fit together as a whole. That's my motion, is to reject and have them come back.
Okay.
Second.
Let's see, who was our second? I heard Chris Parts. Oh, John, thank you, John, for being our
Yeah,
our second.
I got in there before Chris.
Oh yeah, I knew you did. I just wasn't trying to pick out your voice from somebody else's. So thank you, John, for clarifying, and that'll be good for the minutes. Okay, so we have a motion from Ed, seconded by John, to follow the staff recommendation that the LPC not approve the request as proposed, and that they come back to us with a new design. Are there any further discussions from the commissioners, or are we ready to proceed with the vote? Okay, hearing none, I think we can proceed with our roll call vote. So, and clarify, voting yes means that we are rejecting the application, and that they will have to come back to us with a new design.
Great, thank you, Phoebe. Can we have Lily, please?
Yes.
Wendy,
Yes.
Ed,
Yes.
John,
Yes.
Chris Weston,
Yes.
Tom,
Yes.
Dan,
Yes.
Vince,
Yes.
Ed,
Yes.
Chris Parts,
Yes.
Jamie,
Yes.
Raquel,
Yes.
and Phoebe, please.
Yes.
All right, and thank you, Mr. Warren. I'll be in touch tomorrow with an email just going over what the commission discussed and suggested, and we're here if you have questions. Thank you. Alrighty, moving on to our last property. We have agenda item number 10, the Rodney House. This is the McGrigg LLC property at 14943 York Road in Sparks, County Council District number 3. This is final landmarks list number 367, and includes multiple buildings as well as a setting. So the applicants have requested review for various ex post facto exterior alterations to 14941 and 14943 York Road, including the asphalt driveway, and proposed exterior alterations to 14945 York Road. And this is code enforcement correction number CB 2400202. So to refresh the commission's memory, the property at 14943 York Road is a circa 1830 two-story random rubble stone dwelling with a two-story frame L addition. The property was originally designated as Baltimore County Final Landmark through Council Bill number 86-10 in 2010. The designation includes 7 historic outbuildings, a blacksmith shop, office, tenant house, shed, spring house, stable, and an ice house. In March 2024, a correction notice or stop work order was issued after a constituent complaint regarding the expansion of the existing asphalt driveway without LPC review or building permit. And the property came before the commission at the March 13th, 2025 meeting. So they have now returned with updated plans that staff has organized by work items and building. So for the first property at 14941, this is the blacksmith shop. This is a two-story frame structure constructed in 1880. The structure was clad in German wood siding with a two-story 1910 rear addition and single-story side addition. Both additions are clad in board and batten siding. Google imaging from 2018 through 2023 indicates that major exterior alterations were made to the primary structure and additions without LPC review, and included the following: original German wood siding on primary structure and board and batten siding on rear and side additions was covered with vinyl. All windows replaced with American Craftsman 29.75 inch by 61 and a 1/4 inch double hung vinyl windows. Partial enclosure of a double entry garage door on the 1910 side addition were replaced with a side entry opening and new fiberglass door on the west elevation. Removal and enclosure of 2 existing 6/6 double hung wood sash windows on the second level north elevation. Previous windows were above the 2 existing first level double pane windows with 8 light grids. as well as 2 new window openings created on the second level of the north elevation. And finally, the reopening of previously enclosed entry on the north elevation and a new fiberglass door installation. So the applicant has proposed the following work items to 14941. One, for the existing windows, consist of illegal vinyl replacements, which are a 6/6 style with interior grids. The existing door consists of 4 single leaf panel and glazed fiberglass doors. Staff numbered the doors and windows on the plans to help organize the application. And the applicants are proposing to replace the vinyl replacements with J Weldwood windows. The application does not mention if they will be simulated divided lights, and no additional information regarding the other window alterations was included in the application, such as will window 3 on the front elevation be returned to its original size? Will windows 11 and 9 be reopened and returned to the north side elevation? And will window 12 and 10, as new openings, will they be enclosed and covered with siding to match the exterior? The existing replacement doors will be replaced with single leaf wood door and 2 vertical panels on the bottom and 9 lights on the top. The previously existing front door had a single panel on the bottom and 9 lights on top. The application does not include information regarding the siding door that previously existed on the front elevation of the 1-story side addition. It was replaced with a window and an entry door. Work item 2, for the siding. The original siding material was covered by vinyl siding, and the applicant has since then removed vinyl siding and intends to make repairs and in-kind replacements where needed. Staff recommends the following conditions for approval: that the wood window replacements must be true divided or simulated divided lights, and the replacements must match the previously existing window style in that opening 6/6 paired 4/4 sashes and 4 pane fixed door front windows. Window number 3 on the front elevation will be returned to its original size. Window openings 12 and 10 will be reopened on a new wood windows installed. Windows 13 and 11 will be enclosed and covered with wood siding to match. Transom window of door number 4 will be returned, and the replacement door style must closely match previously existing styles, including the single panel bottom half with 9 lights on the top half. And door number 2 and window number 6 are to be removed, and a sliding barn style door must be returned. So, Caitlin, can you clarify if we're going to vote on each property individually again, or we can just continue to the next?
That would be my preference as chair to, just because this is a large and complex application and there are multiple properties, that we divide this voting and discussion up into the 3 sections. So the blacksmith shop, which you just presented, then the main structure, and then the landscape hardscaping.
Sure. So, Phoebe, if we'd like to proceed with the vote, we do have the architect in attendance, Miss Monroe. I can unmute you if
Just
the
one point
commission-
before you do that, was there any
Okay.
testimony or speakers on this case?
Oh,
application?
no,
Okay.
we don't have any.
Okay, great. Thank you for clarifying.
Yep,
So
sure
yeah,
thing.
we can proceed to the applicant.
Okay. And Miss Monroe, I have you unmuted if there's anything you'd like to add in the summary.
Yes. So in the site plans that that I attached to the application, we are expected to accommodate a lot of these changes. I'm sorry, my taller, she's in the background, but we are planning to replace a few of these changes that's here on this recommendation list. It may not have been included in this presentation, but it is on that proposed elevation. That proposed, and basically what we intend to do and what I've talked to the property owners about is going back to the original sizes and the original materials. So the intention, that pretty much there. The intention is with this being restored is for it to those windows on the second level, they are now closed. We do plan on having them open and restored back with the original material, along with getting rid of any vinyl material that was installed. So that's the siding along with the windows. And in regards to the front window that we talked about, I think it was window 3 labeled. Yeah, was, just to confirm, was this the window that was the incorrect size, or it was like the sizing of it was changed? Because I do know a window on this front, we experienced some issues with the framing of it. It was deteriorating, so that caused the window size to change. But I want to make sure I make note correctly if it needs to be, if the size needs to be changed.
Yes, I believe the window marked window 3 is smaller than the original window,
Okay.
same size.
I think in general, I think the staff's recommendations are very concise and very comprehensive. And I think all the windows should be returned to the sizes that they were before.
Okay.
Not a little bit off, but I think they ought to be matching what's there before. If you look on the right, it's clearly what's there is, you know, it's looks better and feels better, and it is the historic history of this house, which we don't have otherwise. So I think the summary presented by staff is a good summary. We should go with it.
Okay.
I'm just one commissioner, but that's my feeling.
I agree, Ed. It should be.
I had a lot of trouble hearing what was said, so I'm not sure. But anyway, around the side of the house, there's a door there that was not there originally. This first door that wasn't part of the original building.
So our guidelines allow for reopening of openings that were previously enclosed if there's fit documentation. So we have this image from the interior that shows that there was a door there previously. So staff is okay with allowing this door to remain as is because they did have documentation that a door used to exist there, as long as the door is going to be replaced with something more appropriate than what's there right now.
Okay. Thank you.
I think we have a new architect since the last time we saw this.
Yes.
And just for her information, our goal is to restore this building back to the way it looked. It was illegally modified, and our goal as the commission is to restore the original structure.
Now, is it still owned by the people that brought it before us?
Yes.
Earlier in the year?
Yes.
Oh, because it was for sale for a while. That's why I was confused.
I believe it is not for currently for sale right now. Or its listing was removed.
But it is owned by the same
Yes.
people that came before us originally.
Yes. Yes, the same owners that the violation is against.
Okay.
Okay, any further, comments or questions for the applicant? If
I have one more question.
Okay, Ed?
Do you think that we should ask them to do drawings which reflect what was there before? Or should we just say, make it what's there before? My concern is they put in a window that's not the right size, and then we say, take it out and replace it, and they'll have to do that. And I don't know how much clearer we could be other than make it the way it was before. We have photographs, but I don't know how to get there with it.
So Ed, one possibility would be to ask that, if we do make a motion to follow the staff recommendations, then ask that the property owner submit final drawings to staff.
Exactly.
To confirm that they are following what we approve.
I think that's the right way to do it.
Yeah, and just to kind of pick up on that, that's an excellent suggestion, because if we're asking them to come back, then what are they going to come back with?
Yep.
Yeah, so coming back to staff would then mean if we approve the staff recommendations, then the details, verifying the details would be something that staff could do rather than having to come back
Right.
before us as a
Right.
commission to vote on.
Right.
I think that we need to keep seeing this until it's done correctly.
I don't disagree.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
So those were the two options. If somebody wants to make a motion either way, then we can, discuss the merits of having them be staff approved versus.
I'll make a motion. I'll entertain a motion if that's okay.
Yes.
I make a motion to pull this part of the application as as a separate one, and have them come again before the commission with updated drawings that represent the current existing state of the shop and the proposed changes that would adhere to restoring the building, windows, doors, openings, as per the original historic photos.
Thank you, Lily. So is
I'll
there
second.
so that was Chris Weston seconding? Okay. So we have a motion to pull this item from what we're voting on, and to ask the applicant to come back with a drawings, more specific detailed drawings. I think one of the confusions is that your drawings right now include both the before and after in one drawing, and we need two separate drawings. One of what it is currently, the before, and then a second drawing that will show what is going to be after.
Is the siding included in this?
Lily?
What was the
Yes.
siding?
Yes. So the drawings have begun to indicate the siding and the corner boards, but they need to be better noted. Where the word restored is restored is an existing thing that gets restored. So if it's being replaced in kind to represent what was there before, just kind of better details. So exterior finishes, windows, doors, including the specs, which they have begun to compile, but it can be specific just to this building. Does that make sense? I don't.
Yes.
Yes.
All right. So if we're ready for a roll call vote.
So in this case, yes means that we are pulling, this particular item from the, what we would approve, and asking that the applicant come back to us.
Okay. Can we have Lily, please?
Yes.
Wendy?
Yes.
Ed?
Yes.
John?
Yes.
Chris Weston?
Yes.
Tom?
Yes.
Dan?
Yes.
Vince?
Yes.
Ted?
Yes.
Chris Parks?
Yes.
Jamie?
Yes.
Raquel?
Yes.
And Phoebe, please.
Yes.
Great. All right. And Miss Monroe, I'll send an email tomorrow with all of this broken down for you. But we'll bring you back on to the discussion after we move to the next building. So if we're ready to do so, okay. So now we have the property at 14943 York Road, which is the primary dwelling. And this concerns the ex post facto hyphen construction and garage alterations. So an 18-foot by 5.5 inch trapezoidal hyphen was constructed by September 2023 and connects the east elevation of the primary structure's rear addition to the detached garage. The addition is clad in vinyl siding with an asphalt shingle roof, gable roof, one 6/6 window, one 1/1 window, although the drawings show two 6/6 windows, and one 3-panel entry door. Alterations were also made to the former detached garage as part of the addition. The south elevation entry was enclosed, 2 new entry openings were created, and 2 3-panel doors were installed, and 4 window openings with 6/6 double-hung windows were installed. The applicants are proposing to remove the vinyl windows and siding to be replaced with wood windows and siding. In addition, the doors will be replaced with wood doors. Staff feels that the proposed changes are unnecessary and that the proposal can be reviewed as completed. The addition is located on the rear and is attached to a non-historic rear addition. The existing windows in the yellow rear addition are vinyl. The existing siding on the rear addition was noted to be hardy in previous applications. The new addition and garage alterations are minimally visible from York Road traveling north. Staff recommends approving with the condition that the siding be hardy to match what was on the yellow rear addition. And staff would like to note that the plans say that the addition was built to state and local code. However, no building permit has been filed or issued for the construction. Permits for the project are still pending. For the ex post facto rear siding removal and window replacements, the previously existing cementous siding was removed on the side north elevation and was replaced with vinyl. Images from 2022 indicate that the second level of the rear elevation previously contained 3 boarded window openings. Current images from the applicant show that 1 previous window opening was enclosed and the other 2 were expanded to fit 2 pairs of double pane windows. The applicant proposes to return windows to this elevation. Again, staff feels that the proposed changes are unnecessary and that the work should be reviewed as completed. The alterations to the openings are located on a rear addition constructed sometime in 2005 before its landmarking in 2010. The addition already had vinyl windows, and as our guidelines allow for alterations to opening on one side or rear elevations or elevations that are not visible. The north elevation of 14943 is not highly visible from York Road in any direction. Staff recommends approval with the condition that the hardy siding material be returned to the siding matches the rest of the rear addition. For the awning installation, the applicant also proposes to install a glass and wood awning on the north elevation of the rear addition. It will cover the patio area. Staff feels that there is not enough information to review this request at this time and asks the commission to discuss, particularly on how it will attach to the structure. The plans don't provide those details, and staff asks the commission to discuss. All right. So again, Ms. Monroe, I can unmute you if there's anything you'd like to add or clarify to our summary.
I don't have anything to add with this property.
Okay, do any of the commissioners have questions for the applicant? If not, would we have any discussion points amongst ourselves, particularly, related to the awning?
I would agree with the staff that I think we need to see more detail on the awning, and I would be fine with the staff recommendations on the other aspects of the structure.
I feel like I don't think that this body would have approved the connection of the house to the garage with that strange trapezoidal hyphen had we seen it before it was constructed. So I'm not sure why we would do that now, but
I agree.
I additionally recall that we voted against all that asphalt paving that was installed, and nothing's been done to correct that either.
The asphalt paving is going to be our third item, so that
Oh,
we're going to
sorry.
do that separately. So hold off
Right.
on the asphalt paving. Right now, we're just talking about the main structure, the hyphen addition, the windows, and the awning.
Are there any, I guess, given the fact that it's already in place, Are there any suggestions from the commission as to how the hyphen can be tweaked to not be flush with the existing rear?
Well, it was a garage, wasn't it, when it was first added?
No connection to the house.
Yeah, there was a separate non-contributing garage that was not connected to the house that was on the property, and that was demolished.
No, the garage is demolished. This was the garage that I'm saying.
Oh, so the garage. Okay, so the
They
hyphen was.
Sorry, we should have put some
Okay.
more photos.
Sorry, yeah, I didn't. I knew the garage didn't look anything like it did before, but that also was non-contributing. Okay, so it was a hyphen connecting the garage to the.
And there's an awning there as well? Is there an awning at the end of that garage?
It looks like it.
There, yeah.
On the drawings.
Or a roof.
Or a carport or something.
Yeah.
Right there.
Yes, okay.
But this, to me, this looks, here's this elegant stone building, and even the first edition kind of fits, but this looks like a motel attached.
It does.
It's totally out of place for a historic building. So why couldn't we have them make it a garage again if they want a building?
I suggest we kind of remand that to the architect planner and say, this is not a satisfactory look and not a satisfactory feel. And if they want to come back with an alteration to that hyphen that somehow might placate us, I'm open to that. Or they can come back and say, we'll tear it down and do something else. But I'm kind of left with the thought that something must be done because it just looks terrible.
Yeah, it just stuck on there and it has no relevance to any other part of the building.
Yeah, maybe exploring just doing a porch and then setting back that wall. Maybe that's an option potentially to just push back the face of that wall in the hyphen piece and then letting the original garage element read as it was. So if you don't want to demo the whole thing.
And I feel like these sentiments.
I'd like to demo the whole thing.
I feel like a lot of what we're saying was conveyed to the owner the last time we reviewed this building.
It was.
You are correct. You are correct.
Okay, well, it sounds like there is some interest in having the property owner come back to us with a new design for the hyphen garage, part of the building.
Miss Monroe, you're unmuted if you have something to say, so that you had to press the hand raise button.
Oh, yes. So I just want to make sure I'm taking the proper notes to get back to the owners. I can definitely sketch up a new design to show what needs to be shown. I just want to make sure I relay the proper information back to them. So basically with this property, we're looking at redesigning the addition to look more flush with the existing building as an option and propose that to you all. Or the other option would be to go about getting rid of this addition, connecting the two, and making it like a opening, or I think someone said a porch or something like that.
So I guess I would make the motion that we return this, we decline any action on this until we see complete and full drawings that pay attention to the remarks of the commission, both in this meeting and our last meeting about
All right, and I'm just trying to make sure I'm understanding correctly. So by in the drawings, do you mean how it's shown connected to the building? Because right now, my communication with the property owners, as far as what they're given, the information that they're given to me, is that they are going to have the siding match with the building. The vinyl that they have there would not be existing. They'll pretty much have it more so that it's uniform with the building. But if it's anything different, I just want to make sure I give them the proper information so that they can know what they want to do.
I would say that the information is that we're unhappy with the hyphen connector altogether, and that it needs to be redesigned to make the garage building separate or appear separate from the rest of the house.
Okay.
And we also need detail on the awning and what's going on back there, I feel like.
Is the awning sitting on a new retaining wall? It's very unclear how it's constructed.
Yes, they did want it to be on the retainer wall. They did not give me too much information in regards to the build of it, so I couldn't go into too much detail. I just wanted to show something to show how it was gonna look. But their intention is to have that awning go on the retainer wall. And I advise that we should probably address the stuff.
There's no retaining wall shown there. I don't see a retaining wall there.
Is the drawing on the right? Is that am I looking proposed awning? Is that?
So the picture, the picture, it's weird that it's taken, but yeah, that with this circle, that is the wall that it was circled on.
You're on top of the retaining wall in that picture.
Okay.
But it's two heights. So this shows a constant height retaining wall, where this one shows it jogging up.
Mm-hmm.
This is confusing. I don't think something's not right.
I do want to add here too, in addition to this, I know everybody's kind of new, and you mentioned this is recorded, so they will have access to it in addition to the notes that staff gives them. But this is published and it is on, you can find this on YouTube if they have additional questions as well. For me, it does speak kind of volumes that from the last time they were here, the gentleman had spoken of more than just him in the decision-making process and the intent of what they want to do. And they're not here at this meeting as well to kind of answer these questions on intent. So just, when you speak with the owners, just in my opinion, it would have been very valuable if they were here to speak towards what they want, especially if you're kind of a new designer coming into this project in itself. So just my 2 cents.
I think that's a great observation.
Okay, so it sounds like we are leaning toward rejecting. I don't believe we have a motion yet.
I tried to make a motion, but none of my friends on the commission seconded. Phoebe.
Okay, well, you could repeat what your motion was, John, just so that to refresh our we got into discussion.
My motion was to reject the application until they come back with detailed plans that take into consideration the multiple concerns from the commission on the building, the hyphen, the awning, and the list goes on, and the former garage as well.
I second that.
Okay, so we have a motion and a second. So the motion is to reject the application as proposed and ask that they come back to us with a new design.
All right, can we have Lily, please?
Yes.
Wendy?
Yes.
Ed?
Yes.
John?
Yes.
Chris Weston?
Yes.
Tom?
Yes.
Dan?
Yes.
Vince?
Yes.
Ted?
Yes.
Chris Parts?
Yes.
Jamie? Jamie, are you unmuted? Jamie, I have you unmuted.
We can come back to her.
Okay, I'll come. Raquel, please.
Yes.
And Jamie, I have you unmuted. All right. Well, regardless, the motion carries.
Yeah, and then Phoebe is yes too.
I'm so sorry. Thank you. Thank you. All right. Right. Okay, moving on. So next we have property at 14945 York Road, which is the tenant house. No work was completed to the structure and no work is proposed in this application. The landscape work proposed includes making repairs to the existing fieldstone retaining wall as needed and installing a new bluestone walkway. And the driveway expansion is part of the correction notice. So I don't know if we want to lump that together.
Yeah, let's
and
lump all of
have
the
a vote.
landscape
Yeah.
together.
Okay,
Or
perfect.
landscape, hardscape. So for
Great.
both the yeah, for both
Great,
the
thank you.
all
Yeah,
three of
so
the buildings.
yep, so
I do
the
have a question on this building itself.
Yeah, let's let staff present the whole everything that's
Okay.
proposed, and then we'll open it up to questions.
Okay,
So just
thank you,
hold
Wendy.
tight, Wendy.
Great. So, so to continue with the driveway expansion, this work is part of the correction notice. So the work completed included a new asphalt that was laid over the existing paved areas. Some areas were expanded by paving over previously existing grass or flower beds to be flush with the buildings. And the applicant is proposing several work items to undo the paving. So it will be removed in areas where it runs up to the buildings. The grass will be returned, and a new bluestone walkway is proposed along the existing stone retaining wall of 14943, as well as paving to be removed from the front terrace outside of the entrance on the rear addition. That's in yellow, and it previously had a stamped concrete finish. So the flagstone patio will be installed to match the other flagstone walkways, and paving will be removed around 14941, the blacksmith shop, and the landscaping returned. So staff's recommendation to the LCP is to focus on the work that has already been completed and discuss and review the multiple requests, but specifically to approve this proposed landscape and hardscaping. So we are ready to open the discussion.
Okay, do we first start with the applicant? Did you have any comments or related to the hardscaping and landscaping?
No, based on my communication with them, they just wanted to restore it back to what it was. They are proposing a new walkway, so I do want to get some feedback on that if I need to give anything back to them.
Okay, thank you. So do any of the commissioners have questions, clarifying questions for the applicant or comments for the applicant?
I just wanted to say that that building is deteriorating at a rapid rate. It's getting onto, demolition by neglect. The roof has now lost 3 pieces of the metal roof. So once the roof goes, it's very difficult to bring a building back. So something needs to be done to just stabilize that building.
I have a question kind of connected with that as well. I think on the last, photo number 16, there are 3 points made about maintenance, repairs required, and the roof metal shingle. I wasn't clear if this, it looks like this is a request for repairs. And I believe it during the last application, it was part of the process to do repairs to this building. And I don't know if I'm correct or not, but we voted not to let him continue that because we were afraid he might, we said we accepted some, but not all the repairs on this particular one. Am I wrong in all of this?
No, we wanted him to focus on the work that was already completed before moving on to the work on this building because it was just a lot for that application, but we did approve the repair for that roof patch because they found the metal sheeting
Yeah.
roof piece in the woods behind, and we did
Okay.
approve that, and it
But-
was laying on the side for a
Okay.
while.
But photo number 16 has a list of 3 things. Who listed these 3 things? Is it the you guys, or is it the applicant? I'm a little bit confused. It's yeah, it was this on.
Yeah, so what's listed on the application packet on under photo 16 is maintenance and repairs required, roof metal shingle single piece missing, and stone wall deteriorating, improper maintenance.
Yes, and there's another picture that says the other side railing
Right.
of the porch is missing. So I assumed that to indicate they wanted to replace it in kind.
If I could add some clarity, I think the applicant may have just kept his comments on the photo submission from his last application. But I mean, if there's 3 panels missing on the roof, then the photo submitted doesn't represent the existing conditions.
And the last time I was there, those panels are, kind of leaning against the porch. So
Okay, thank you,
somebody had
Wendy.
found them.
Yeah, but the physical application work items did not include anything for
Yeah.
this other than I think the walkway and the stone retaining wall.
Right. And I don't know for sure, but I'm wondering if it's just because there's so much between the buildings and the different work items that the intent might have been there, given that they're in the photos, but not in the formality of every piece of the puzzle within the application. So I think our response should be very
Specific about what we
specific.
yeah.
Exactly.
The roof.
Yeah, so
and,
we've
I
already
need to
rejected the other
stabilize it.
2 items, or the other 2 aspects. And so now if we do make a motion related to the hardscape and landscape, I think we need to be very clear that any approval is only for, if we do decide to approve it, that it would only be for that landscape hardscape. So that would, I think, clarify that point, that any other changes to the to the tenant house are not are not
But
something
these
that
aren't
we're
changes,
approving.
these are stabilizing the
Well,
structure.
we did approve at the last meeting to stabilize putting that roof panel back on.
There are now more missing.
Yeah, and so they haven't
he
done
needs
that
to
yet,
do-
and so that's on them. They need to do what we've already approved.
Okay, well, it needs to be done post haste or there's not going to be a building.
Yeah, no, that is a good point. That feedback that can be brought back to the applicant, that the LPC is losing its patience if, in terms of concern about demolition by neglect, if more of those roof panels keep falling off and aren't getting repaired.
Right.
As we, approved the one.
Well,
Okay, so let's turn back to the hardscape and landscape, which is what is before us.
Yeah, and I'm sorry to interrupt, but just to clarify, I did check the application, and it appears that the same photo log was submitted. So the description about the single panel missing, that I believe the applicant just used the same photo log from the last application.
Yeah.
And just for clarity, this plan that we're seeing right now reflects the original paving condition. Is that correct?
It looks like it's the new because it's being cut back.
Not nearly as much.
Yeah, they're having perimeter around all the buildings with some grassy areas.
I think they should take it back closer to what it was before.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Just got a little sliver of grass where here shows a big piece of glass against the larger building.
Yeah, along that 1493. I think the proposed walkway is new, but it does look like from the site plan, or from the aerial, it does look like there was more grass there on the original.
I have a quick question because
Yes,
I don't
Vince.
think I don't. What was just said? What was just said, was that proposed before? Taking it back to what it was originally?
Yeah.
That was our recommendation at the last meeting when this
At the
issue
last
came.
meeting,
Yeah,
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 I
was to
wasn't-
take it
yeah,
back so that the asphalt wasn't going all the way up against the building. So there was that kind of, landscaping buffer, and to restore the grass and remove pavement back to what it was before.
So I guess my suggestion would be that we get a drawing that reflects a line of what was originally there from the from the aerial view, and indicate that on the site plan.
Yeah, and I think the other issue is if we are asking the applicant to come back to us related to the garage hyphen area, that may impact the pavement, and hardscaping,
Yes.
up to that building. And so they may end up needing to come back to us with a modified design for that as well.
I think something further closer to what it was there originally than what is that shown now should be done. Right now, it's just barely a little, 5-foot sliver adjacent to the building. Whereas the prior thing had a much larger piece of grass. That's a much larger piece of green space.
Yeah, so now if we're the blacksmith shop, are we agreeable with what they proposed for the blacksmith shop? It might be helpful to kind of go building by building for the applicant.
Yeah.
Is that, is
Close.
this the blacksmith? The
Yes,
one
this
that's
is-
missing
this is
the
the-
roof panels?
No, that's the tenant house.
Okay.
The blacksmith shop is the one that we had all the windows, the openings got, changed.
The first one, yeah.
The first one,
The-
yes.
The first one, okay.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That's pretty close.
Can we
Yeah,
go
I
to
think-
the aerial? That
What's proposed?
yeah, I mean that you can't see that well from the shadow, but it does look close to what was there.
Yeah.
I think that's relatively close compared to the other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
compared to the others.
Okay, so I'm hearing a consensus that what's proposed for the blacksmith shop is generally acceptable to the commission.
Yes.
But then if we go to the main house, that there is some concern that it is not restoring enough of the grassy area, and that there, particularly in that front area, the lines of it were slightly different originally.
Yes.
Yeah, there also seem to be some elevation changes as well. And it's hard to tell on the plan how those are included.
I would be happy if we could get back to the close to the amount of green space. I'm not sure we need the retaining wall, but I mean, it would be nice, but I think I'd prefer to have the green space.
I would agree. Mhm. And then do we need to look at 1495 too for the
tenant
Okay.
house?
8:08 p.m.
Okay, let's look at that one.
This one, they're just proposing the bluestone walkway from the existing asphalt.
Right.
There's a parking,
in there?
and then this stone rubble wall, which I'm not sure if it was an actual wall or if it was just stones stacked on each other there.
But that's proposed to repair and replace the wall.
Yeah.
Looks like a dry stone,
Yeah.
wall there.
So would that be like a stack stone kind of situation?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, so for the applicant representative, is the retaining wall that's proposed, would it be a similar in-kind stacked stone retaining wall?
Yes, so what we show is currently like damaged and it's like coming apart and some of the stones are missing. So they aren't looking to make any changes to it. They are just looking to bring it back to how it was.
Okay.
So I think, Phoebe, if it's helpful that we make a motion that we try to restore the paving area and landscaping around the 1493 building to what was previously there. And I think the commission would accept proposed paving and landscaping for 14941 and 14945.
Okay, just to clarify that is your motion is to, and this is a motion, correct, Chris?
Yes.
Yeah, so that would be to approve for the landscape hardscape plan for the tenant house and the blacksmith shop, but ask that the applicant come back to us with more detail for the main house.
Yes.
Okay.
More green space and
Yes, with more green space. Modify the plan to include more green space and to take into account what's going to be proposed with the hyphen garage addition area.
That may change the.
Yeah, that may change the plans.
I second the motion.
Thank you, John. So we have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion before we vote on this part? Okay, hearing none, then I would call for a roll call vote.
I'm sorry, can we have Lily, please?
Yes.
Wendy?
Yes.
Ed?
Yes.
John?
Yes.
Tom?
Yes.
Chris Weston?
Yes.
Dan?
Yes.
Vince?
Yes.
Ed? I'm so sorry, Ted, not Ed.
Yes.
Thank you, Ted. Chris Parts?
Yes.
Jamie? Raquel?
Yes.
Jamie, I have you unmuted. Okay, we'll end with
And
Phoebe,
Phoebe,
please.
Phoebe is a yes as well.
Yes, thank you. Alrighty. Well, the motion carries. Right, so Ms. Monroe, again, I'll be in touch tomorrow with a clarifying email. I know it's a lot.
Okay, so then we can move on to the historic review application, tax credit applications that were approved by staff.
Sure. So we just had two part two applications for that received MHT approval. The first was the MAC 2 LLC property at 605 Upland Road in Subbrook Park. It was a contributing resource within the Subbrook Park County Historic District, and they received a part two commercial approval for exterior and interior rehabilitation of the primary structure and detached garage. So it's within County Council District number 2. And then we had the Hodge property at 7005 Copley Road in Towson. This is a contributing resource within the Stoneleigh National Register Historic District, and they received Part 2 approval for a boiler replacement. They are within County Council District number 6.
Okay, thank you. Was there other business?
Have anything, Caitlin?
No.
Yeah.
No meeting in August.
I have one thing.
Yes, Vince.
I just want to say, as someone who's not as well versed or as don't have the expertise that a lot of the members on this committee, this commission, I really appreciate the staff's detail and thoroughness because it really makes it easy for me. I just wanted to say that.
Thank you, Vince. I would second
Thank you,
that
Vince.
that sentiment that the staff
Oh,
just
thank
did
you.
an excellent job today with this meeting. I think it ran fairly smoothly and did a great job explaining and pulling together the application presentations for us. So thank you. Kudos to you, staff.
And thank you for serving on this volunteer board.
Second that emotion.
Yes. we can put it officially in the minutes that
Words of Smokey Robinson.
a
There you go.
voice
Yes,
vote
yes,
that we
did that.
all
I saw what you
that
did there.
that there's a general appreciation for the staff.
So the move to adjourn should be for not only this meeting, but for all of August too, huh?
Yes, at our
And
next
then we
meeting.
adjourn
I can
until
go on
September.
vacation.
We're just not having a meeting. It's not adjourning it.
Well, no, we do have to adjourn this meeting. So,
Yeah.
This
so
one,
John,
yes.
I take that you were making a motion
I
to
am.
adjourn, and we would need a second and then a
Second.
final voice vote. So I have a second. I think that was Chris Parks, or
Yes.
yes. Okay, so all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Any opposed?
Happy
Great.
August.
We will see you in September.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you so much.
Good night.
Bye.